Okay, I think we can start. So welcome everybody, and thanks for joining us today for this information session on the Alinvest Verde program and its first call for proposal. My name is Nicoletta Favaretto. I'm Senior Project Officer at Eurochambres, the Association of European Chambers of Commerce and Industry based in Brussels. As you might see on the screen, we have a very rich agenda today. Christiane Beck, Director for International Donor at SEQA, Coordinator of the Alinvest Verde Consortium, will join me for the welcome address. We'll then have Ms. Ingrid Jenetsova of the European Commission DG International Partnership at the unit specifically of external relation for South America and regional operation. She will provide us with introductory remarks and an overview of the EU priorities in Latin America. We will then dive into the Alinvest Verde, its green version. We will give you an overview of the program, its consortium, and then Mr. Frank Summa, project manager at SEQA, will present the content of the first call for proposal. You will see on the screen, there will be also a dedicated slot for question and answer. So it is a pleasure for me to moderate and open this session today on behalf of Eurochambres. Our association represents 45 members, 43 national chambers of commerce and 2 transnational organizations representing chambers. And together, and thanks to our member, we represent over 20 million enterprises in Europe, reaching a network of 1,700 European chambers of commerce, regional and local one. Eurochambres has been involved in the implementation of EU-funded program on bi-regional economic partnership, cooperation, internationalization and innovation with Latin America for more than 15 years. We're talking about programs such as Alinvest, the Central America Exporta, ELA Network, the Latin America Intellectual Property SME Help Desk. And we're really honored to be part of the implementing consortium of the new Alinvest Verde program. It represents really several opportunities, the opportunity to support sustainable growth and job creations in the region, to boost our bi-regional relationship by building alliances in the field of green economy, and lastly, to mobilize our EU private sector know-how and expertise for the benefit of Latin American micro and small medium-sized enterprises. Before I give the floor to Christiane Beck, some technical remarks from my side. You'll see on your screen, you'll have a question and answer button. So you can click on that button, submit your question also through during the various presentation, and we'll make sure to reply to those questions during the dedicated time slot for question and answer. So I now invite Christiane Beck, Director of International Donors, on this virtual floor. Welcome, Christiane.
Thank you very much, Nicoletta. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, good morning to all of you. It's an honor to at least meet you here today in my role as head of unit and partner to the Alinvest Verde on behalf of SEQA, the lead entity of an excellent consortium that will implement this important and challenging program. For all those where SEQA does not immediately ring a bell, we have been founded in 1991 by the apex bodies of the German Chambers and Association to implement their development cooperation. SEQA is a development organization active worldwide, and since more than 30 years, we've been implementing international projects and programs in close cooperation with German businesses and the business community and their representative bodies. SEQA is based in Bonn, and currently we employ more than 200 people directly or indirectly. Our work focuses on the promotion of private sector. We offer competence and experience and expertise in organizational development of chambers and associations, vocational education and trade promotion. And in the previous Alinvest session, SEQA also has been a partner. And our thematic focus was the realization and implementation of the business hub methodology, or also known as nucleus methodology. At SEQA, and more specifically in the Alinvest Verde program, we work to strengthen small enterprises throughout Latin America. With more than 20 years of history now since the creation of Alinvest, this program has sought to join efforts to boost the productivity and competitiveness of micro, small, and medium enterprises. I would like to highlight the importance of the collaboration with Eurochambres as a partner and main counterpart here in Europe. Throughout the implementation of Alinvest and also Archipelago, our common program in West Africa, a close partnership with Eurochambres was born and is based on mutual respect and trust. Alinvest Verde presents a new stage to continue boosting the competitiveness and compliance of SMEs through the implementation of sustainable practices such as carbon footprint reduction, energy efficiency, or in general greater resource efficiency and circularity. On March 28, we announced the first call for proposals, which was a big step for us, and it's aiming at the facilitation of EU Latin American partnerships for a green transition. Together with Eurochambres, we want to promote innovative projects that will continue to strengthen small producers and entrepreneurs and develop business opportunities for EU companies in Latin America. Transfer of technology, transfer of know-how, and perhaps in the end, even transfer of investment will boost a green transition in Latin America. We appreciate the work and commitment and professionalism of Eurochambres and wish them everything success now here in mobilizing EU interested partners for Alinvest Verde. So please join our project, develop partnerships and a good proposal. We are very much looking forward to working with you. Best regards from Germany, and thank you very much. Back to you, Nicoletta. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Christiane, for this welcome address. I'll now invite to this virtual floor Ms. Ingrid Jenezova, Program Officer of the European Commission, DG International Partnership, to give us an overview of EU priorities in the region.
Thank you, Nicoletta. Good morning to all. It's a pleasure to join you today at this Alinvest Verde event. As you can imagine, we spent several months working to prepare this program to be operational, and today we can welcome you to present this first call, which follows, of course, several successful launching events in the Latin American countries and the European Union. With this program, we have a tool to support the private sector initiative, a new chapter of our engagement. My role today is to provide you with an overview of the European Union priorities in Latin America and the Caribbean. The relationship between our two regions goes beyond the historical and cultural ties that we share, because we share adherence to fundamental values that we also observe in relation to the crisis in Ukraine, more specifically during the voting in the United Nations Security Council. There has been many high-level discussions on the future of the European Union, Latin America, and the Caribbean relations in the Global Europe Instrument programming period, and this has intensified in the past month. We increasingly realize that in today's world and its complex geopolitical context, Europe and Latin America and the Caribbean strategic partnership does matter in many interconnected dimensions. The European Union and Latin America and the Caribbean are already one of the most integrated regions globally. We have associations agreements that include specific chapters and provisions on political and cooperation issues and on trade. These agreements we have with 27 out of 33 countries in Latin America and the Caribbean. If the Mercosur agreement will be ratified, we will cover almost all of the countries in the region which will enjoy preferential trade relations with the European Union. Thus, it is very important for us to scale up the implementation of the trade agreements and fully catalyze on their potential with values that are core to us. Obviously, this includes policy aspects related to the green agenda, sustainable value chains, circular economy, as well as sustainability of trade flows with the region. Moreover, European Union is also the main investor in the region, with a regional volume of foreign direct investments higher than those combined of China, India, Japan, and Russia. In the recent decades, the European Union's investment profile in Latin America and the Caribbean has changed, moving towards sectors with a high potential for a green and digital transitions. And this is one of the reasons why the EU is the first investors in areas such as renewable energy, telecommunications, research and development. Therefore, with our actions, we are also contributing to the modernization of the Latin America economic model. Another important point which touched all of us in the recent month is to address the economic recovery due to the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. There is no doubt that the COVID-19 crisis has seriously affected economies worldwide, including the private sector, especially the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises really struggling to recover. But strengthening the Latin America and Caribbean partnership as a strategic alliance can have a positive impact on the economic recovery for the both regions. The EU is resolved not only to catalyze economic recovery, but also to build back and better with topics and dynamics that are on the top agenda these days by using the crisis as opportunity to accelerate the green transition and digital transformation. We believe that the stakes and opportunities are similar for the Latin America and Caribbean economies. As such, as a new dynamics creates great number of business, investment, and trade opportunities between our regions, with the potential not only to accelerate the recovery, but also the modernization of the Latin America and Caribbean's economic model. We should also not forget that the European Union's cooperation, while jointly addressing common challenges, is modernizing and evolving from the classical development cooperation to build international partnerships between equals. The cooperation between the both regions has been at the front of this transformative process. On this journey, we have always supported private sector dynamics and partnerships through highly successful regional programs. Since 1994, the European Union is financing programs that encourage the productivity and internalization of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in Latin America through the European Union Latin America Alliance for Sustainable Growth and Jobs program known as Alinvest. However, in this current 6th edition, this program is a little bit different, and intentionally, specifically to reflect this change, we call it Alinvest Verde. It is a very particular feature, the green seal in its name, which demonstrates its alignment with the priorities of the European Sustainable Agenda, the kind of strategy that implies the transformations of our economies to a modern, low-carbon, resource-efficient and competitive economies. We believe that Alinvest Verde activities will encourage the creation of a greener, more circular economy initiatives at all stages of global value chains, sharing good practices developed within the European Union and supporting the development of similar experiences and practices in the partner countries. For this first call of proposals under the new Alinvest Verde program, and with these ambitious objectives in mind, we are happy to bring to your attention the launch of the first call of proposals under the Alinvest Verde program, which is a great opportunity to provide the first-hand support to the micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises willing to embark on a new green and sustainable business models and adventures. And we do believe that we can catalyze the kind of partnership to arrive to this objective. To this end, the European Union is making available for this call 10 million euros that will co-finance around 33 best project proposals supporting the transition in Latin America. This kind of funding could be considered as a pilot initiative that could be escalated up in the future with new funding of the private sector initiatives. The details of the call will be presented further by Nicoletta and Frank Suma, the project manager in SECPA. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much for the invitation. I wish you a successful event and very fruitful discussion. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ingrid, for really providing the framework of the EU priorities and action in Latin America, and providing also with the feature of the Alinvest Verde program. So maybe some points we retain, of course, the importance of working towards the implementation of the existing foreign trade agreement, the importance really to focus on investment for the economic recovery of the two regions after the COVID pandemic, specifically the opportunities that are presented by the green transition, the digital transformation, investing in research and development, and of course, this element of continuity and importance of the international partnership between the two regions. So this is what we retain from the program. So now we will also have a look at the program itself and the consortium, and then of course at the content of the Alinvest Verde call. I will share now my screen and I will launch my presentation. So I will share, view, and full screen. I hope you can see everything. So
yes,
perfect. Thank you very much for the confirmation, Christiane. So a summary of what has been said. We talk about the Alinvest program. The Alinvest program is one of the flagship program of the EU on economic cooperation with Latin America. The first edition of the program was created in 1994, so we're talking about almost 28 years of history of the program. Of course, the first, let's say, priority at the beginning of the program itself was to attract European investment to Latin America and promote also internationalization of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. And with the of course, with the societal and economic challenges of the region, then the program focused more on increasing the productivity and competitiveness of the micro SMEs in Latin America. We are now at the 6th edition of the program, so with the definition of Alinvest Verde, the green version. The predecessor of Alinvest Verde was Alinvest 5.0, and we talk about it here now just to give you also, let's say, an overview of what the program could achieve. So Alinvest 5, similarly to the current version, had available 31 million euro, and activities were implemented in 18 different countries in Latin America through a same scheme, a grant scheme of open call for proposals. 67 projects were funded, and these projects were implemented by 110 membership-based organization, business support organization, so organizations that were supporting the private sector. Activities focus a lot on increasing the productivity, increasing the jobs, opportunities, and growth of the company, promoting business linkages among the SMEs, and more than 46,000 companies benefited from the program. There were also activities for exchanging, best practices, and specific activities that were meant to the development of new services offered by business support organization involved. There was a little bit of different consortium, as you can see from the slide. So the leader was the Chambers of Commerce of Santa Cruz in Bolivia. Towards the end of the activities of Alinvest 5, we saw there was a lot of discussion about digitalization, innovation, and also circular economy. And I think that also naturally the program then shifted towards a more green version. When we're talking about a program, so the program has different components. As you can see here, there are 3 different components to the program. And today we're talking about the activities of component 1. So component 1 focus, and it is designed to mobilize the EU expertise, investment to support the creation of sector partnership in Latin America. But for the sake of information and completion of the information we provide, so we also have a component 2 that deals more with policy advocacy and effective implementation of core labor and environmental standards. This component is implemented by a consortium of member states, and that consists of a Spanish organization, so the Ibero-American and International Foundation for Public Administration, and the organization, the international organization, Italy, Latin America. Component 3, because we're talking about green transition, research, development, there's a really innovation component and there's an intellectual property component. And so the component 3 focus on the effective implementation of intellectual property agreements, and specifically in the Mercosur region. And it is implemented by the EU IPO, so the EU Intellectual Property Office, based in Alicante. So today we talk about component 1, and the component 1 is implemented by a consortium led by SEQA, as it was presented by Christiane Beck before, together with other 6 partners, so Eurochambres and other 5 Latin American partners, Ag-Export, so the Association of Guatemalan Exporter, the Confederation of Association of Business Association of Brazil, CACB. Then we have the Chambers of Commerce of Santa Cruz in Bolivia, the Chambers of Commerce of Lima, Peru, and then the Confederation of Mexican Employer with the office in Jalisco, Coparmex. As you can see on the screen, there's a series of associates that support us with provision of technical expertise or support us in the promotion of the program itself. I will present today some of the European ones. So we have the Association of Industry in Germany, the German Chambers of Commerce, the AK. We have EBN, so the European Business and Innovation Center Network based in Brussels, and Greenovate Europe based in Brussels, so a network of experts and associations that are active in innovation and green economy. What's the objective of the component 1? The objective is really to promote sustainable growth and job creation by supporting really the transition in Latin America towards a low carbon, resource efficient and more circular economy in the region. So the specific objective is really to encourage Latin America micro and small medium-sized enterprises to adopt cleaner, more sustainable processes, practices, and also consumption pattern as a key elements of their competitiveness. There's really a correlation here between sustainability and competitiveness. So the companies that are sustainable and that adopt sustainable practices are those that also create value. So we often see that there are really consumers that are paying more and more attention to the environmental impact of their consumption, and they're willing to pay a premium price to have more sustainable products, and they can show also increasing brand loyalty to the companies that adopt sustainable practices and develop sustainable products. We also see that those companies improve their productivity, so you develop more efficient production process, production models that reduce costs and improve efficiency. Those companies are also able to better access finance. Financial flows are now increasingly focused and directed towards investment that are environmentally friendly, production methods and technologies that required really these environmental friendly investment. And finally, those companies that adopt sustainable practices are those companies that are compliant with existing regulation, both at local level, national level, or international level, and also will be compliant with future regulation in the field. So providing you now with an overview of the features of the program, we started our operation in December 2021. As meant by Christiane, we work on the first call for proposal, on the launch of the first call for proposal. So we started in December. Our project will last for 4 years, so 48 months. The available budget is 31 4.25 million euro, of which 25 million euro are, and that correspond to 80% grant, so EU financial contribution, and 20 million euro will be dedicated to financial assistance to third parties through open and competitive call for calls for proposal. So the first call is open since 28 March 2022. You'll have access to the call guidelines and documents on the official website of the program, and the next call is planned to be published for the beginning of 2023. So financial assistance to third parties, you see here the acronym AFTs, so Apoyo Financiero a Tercero in Spanish, means also a great opportunity to finance innovative projects that are built by alliances between Latin American and EU institutions and business organizations. But it also means, you know, the opportunity to access a network of like-minded organizations that all works towards, let's say, the aim of achieving an effective green transition of SMEs in the region. Before we enter the content of the first call for proposal, I'll leave you here all the references in terms of communication. So you will find here the address of the Alinvest Verde website, and I'll also invite you to follow us on LinkedIn and on Twitter so that you can get, let's say, the latest news about the program. Thanks for your attention. I invite you now, Frank Summa, to give a presentation about the call.
Yes, thanks a lot, Nicoletta. Thanks a lot, Ingrid and Christiane, for putting everything in the political context and for talking a little bit about the Alinvest Verde in general and the predecessor edition. So let me also share my screen. I hope everything is fine as such. So my name is Frank Summa. I'm working as project manager at SEQUA in Bonn, and in the framework of the Alinvest Verde, I'm the project director. My presentation is now focusing on this concrete first call for proposal and to provide you with some details on the procedure. So first of all, the budget, it was already mentioned. For this first call for proposal, 10 million euro are allocated in general, and each project, each sub-grant project may apply for a total or for an amount of 250 and up to 300,000 euro, which is the contribution from the EU, which could be up to a maximum of 80% of the total value. So the total value, of course, will be higher than these 250 up to 300,000 euro. And you have to consider that 80% will be a contribution from the EU. You're, of course, free to contribute more from your own, but you have to bear in mind that a maximum of 80% is to be funded. One mandatory requirement, and which is a considerable difference with regards to the other editions of Alinvest Verde, is that it's mandatory that the projects will be submitted by alliances or partnerships between Latin American and European institutions. So each consortium must be built by at least 2 institutions, one from Latin America and one from the European Union. And this includes also, when we talk about European institutions, this includes also those institutions representing business interests in Latin America. So when it comes to the bilateral chambers or the multilateral chambers that are, for example, formally registered in Latin America and have an address in Latin America, but they have they represent European business interests, so they are considered as European partners in this call for proposals. The indicative duration for the project is between 20 and 30 months. This depends upon your methodology that you're proposing. And we are looking forward to innovative and integrated projects. Integrated meaning, in this case, not to propose isolated activities, but a coherent concept with a clear methodology. And of course, the project should have a broad multiplier effect among SMEs and productive units as the final beneficiaries in the countries. So SMEs directly may not apply, but only non-profit institutions, but the SMEs are the final beneficiaries of all the projects. And as last point, synergies should be created with other projects and initiatives at all levels, at local, national, or regional levels. So in best case, we do not, or it is not expected to have isolated activities, but activities that create synergies with other projects or initiatives. So we mentioned this budget for the first call, these 10 million euro. These are divided between two lots. The first lot has an assignation of 6 million euro. It's called Sustainable Deforestation-Free Agri-Food Systems and Value Chains. So in the field of agri-food systems, the EU aims to support the global transition to more sustainable, as mentioned earlier by Ingrid. Latin America is a major exporter of agricultural products, and hence it's quite important for SMEs in Latin America to adapt to this transition process. So the call for proposal provides opportunities for supporting the private sector in the main agri-food value chains to adapt to this transition from an early point in time, enhancing thus their competitiveness in the process. So different types of actions, such as mentioned here, could be traceability solutions that facilitate sustainable and deforestation-free trade flows in the main agri-food value chains. For example, the development of systems for locating relevant products with GIS systems, or setting up monitoring systems for deforestation, forest degradation. Then sustainable agricultural practices, as for example, the promotion and development of sustainable practices and the promotion of financial instruments providing incentives for such sustainable practices. And of course, dialogue, for example, multi-stakeholder initiatives for an integrated approach, promotion of exchanges between the two regions, between Europe and Latin America. So this is the broad outline of the first lot. The second lot has an assignation of 4 million euro. It's called Transition Towards Low Carbon, Resource Efficient and Circular Business Models. And it's a lot more open than the first one and covers the whole project cycle from the design phase until the end of life management. For example, this could cover new sustainable business models, or in the production phase, one could imagine that energy and water is reduced in the manufacturing process, less emissions in the logistics, and in the last phase, consumer awareness raising, reduction of waste, for example. These are only examples and should provide you an overview on what these two lots are dedicated to. Then each of the projects there is a global set of indicators to be reached, and each project will contribute to this overall indicators of the overall program. So first of all, it's the numbers of SMEs that really adopt sustainable economic practices through the support of the project. And the number of SMEs that obtain firm-specific sustainability standard certification or develop sustainability enhancing traceability systems for their products. So standards in this case doesn't mean a fully fledged ISO certification. This refers rather to certifications given by national chambers or other institutions. So in the end, the idea is to have more than a pure declaration of interest, but we are also aware that with a budget as the mentioned one for the project, it's not possible to do a fully fledged ISO certification process, for example. Then the number of full-time equivalent green jobs sustained or created as a direct result of support. The creation and preservation of jobs is, of course, very important, as more sustainability should not be the result of a replacement of jobs in the end. And as the fourth indicator, the number of SMEs reporting increased turnover as a direct result of support received. Of course, it's important to have greener and more sustainable procedures, products, whatever. But in the end, an SME is interested in turnover and overhead, and hence this is an important figure to measure. So after these slides, you might ask yourself, but what is my benefit of implementing such a project? As mentioned earlier by Ingrid, the EU is elaborating and working with different concepts, regulations related to the Green Deal, such as the farm-to-fork approach, cradle-to-cradle, deforestation guideline, etc. So the idea is that the SMEs targeted by the project will improve their competences and green their procedures in order to enhance options to comply with these regulations, and as such enhance their market access. A joint participation of partners from both regions, already mentioned by Nicoletta, strengthened the links between these partners as regards the trade, knowledge, and technology transfer. So this is very important for both regions. Then competitiveness is nowadays seen often from an ecological and social perspective. A company with convincing procedures in place, how to act environmentally and socially responsible, may be more competitive in the end. So that's why it improves the competitiveness of the SMEs. And then the opportunity to participate in exchange fora, be part of an international network, and have access to specialized studies and research. If you are one of the consortia that implement such a project, you will not be isolated, but be part of a broad network. This is what this point shall illustrate. So the All-Invest program, since the beginning, had a great visibility, and in fact, if you implement a project, you enter a network of different and many institutions. So now, more concrete on the call for proposal. This is the general outline of how to present the proposals. It's in fact a one-step procedure. So the documents mentioned in the boxes will have to be uploaded at the same time. We are talking about a 4-page concept note, which should resume the overall concept of your project. Then in the green box, the different informations from applicants which are required, which you have to fill in. It's above all small tables and supporting documents, such as financial reports to prove the financial capacity, and project references to prove the technical capacity, and so on. And then a full proposal with a maximum of 15 pages with a logical framework and a budget. So in the end, the full proposal should contain, or let's put it the other way around, the concept note should already contain all the information that is later on to be found in the full proposal. It's only with more detail to be shown in the full proposal. So first of all, you should review all the key documentation, which is on our website. You can find the direct link here, but Nicoletta already presented the general website as well. There you can find all the documentation. Then you would have to decide on which lot you participate, depending on your experience and the consortium you're planning to set up. And then you have to identify at least one partner from the other region. So we are talking today most probably exclusively with European institutions. So you would have to identify a partner from Latin America to complete your consortium. And then once you have decided that you are going to hand in a proposal, then you should register on the tendering platform, and the respective links are also given on our website. And in the end, it's each partner has to include certain documents in the call for proposal platform, but in the end, it's the leader who uploads all the requested documentation once it's being completed. The deadline for submission, as mentioned earlier, is the 27th of June, but please do not wait until the very last moment to upload your documents. So how to find a partner to submit a joint proposal? We set up a site, a matchmaking site, which is called B2Match. And here it's possible for you to register and to identify other partners. So if I click on this, let me briefly show how this looks like. I hope this is still possible to see. Is it?
No, Frank, I think you shared only the presentation, so maybe you should share your screen.
Okay, sorry. Yes, I shared the presentation, that's correct. So here we go with the...
We can see it, yeah.
Okay, fine. So here you have to go, let me switch to English. So you first register. I register now with an email. And then you have to, okay, you create a password. It's too weak, okay, so let me put some more details and then I'll continue. I'll continue with this. So now the password is good. So then, first of all, you have to make the choice if you're a Latin American or a European Union institution. And please remember, for the bilateral and the multilateral chambers, it's important that you indicate here that you are an EU institution. So I would mark here EU institution. And then you have a profile to complete. Of course, the name of the person who is filling everything in. And the more important information is here on the organization. So if a partner would like to identify another partner, it's of utmost importance to get as many details as possible of the other institutions in order to identify right at the beginning if it's worth to get in touch directly. So here you can put what your organization, what is the type of your organization, and here a concrete organization description, including logo, so you can, everything that you would like to include as information, you can put it here. And then, of course, address, so I leave everything open. I continue here. Okay, this does not work as I have to complete everything. But I think it's not necessary to do this now. You see how it works. And the most important for us is to provide this message that if you would like to raise your chances to find a suitable partner, then please do the organization description as detailed as possible in order to be found. So getting back to my original presentation. So, possible to see again?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So this is what I mentioned earlier, and then you can get in touch with other institutions, and you can establish direct matchmaking meetings with other institutions. So how to apply? This was about the B2Match platform to find a suitable partner. So after what I mentioned earlier, once you are on our website, then you have these 3 buttons. And there you can download as well. This is the link. These 3 buttons lead you to the call for proposal platform where you have to upload your documents and register. And you can also download the guidelines and all the documents from there. But for safety reasons, we put it on the website and on the call for proposal platform. So first of all, you have to download the guidelines and all these documents. And then you create via this button on the call for proposal platform your account for your organization. And it's quite important, as always, to remember the name and the password that you used. And in the end, you will be given a code for your institution. And this code is quite important as it's later on needed once you decide which partner will be your partner in the consortium. Then you have to enter this code from the partner, and all the information that the partner included in the platform is directly joined to your application. And please bear in mind that only official addresses can be used here, no private ones. And then you complete your registration with supporting documents and requested information, such as number and types of employees, articles of associations, etc. And you fill this in and can upload here on the right picture. You can see that there are different upload boxes where you can upload the respective documents. And you can upload upload documents and edit everything at any time. And you're always asked if you really, or if you would like to save only, or if you would like to finally submit or officially submit. And once you do that, it's no longer possible to do any changes. So please be careful when clicking on these boxes. So how is the evaluation process and the steps afterwards, after having handed in the proposal? So an evaluation committee will be set up and will be responsible for the whole evaluation process. The process is based on quality, so there are no quota for certain countries, for example. It's purely based on quality. The first part will be a preliminary administrative check. It's on the documents. So if the correct format has been used, if the declarations have been signed, if the budget is part of it, etc. Such type of questions will be checked at the beginning. Then there is the evaluation of the concept note, which is giving a maximum of 20 points for the relevance and the design of the project. So this is focusing on how relevant the project is regarding the objectives and the indicators to reach. And if there is a clear link of the proposal with the problems in the country, and if the action is sustainable in a way that it might be replicated, will it still be, in a sense of, will it still be valid in a few years? So sustainability from that point of view, and not from the environmental point of view. And then the information on the applicant's information organization. So there will be an assessment of the operational, technical, and financial capacity of the consortium. So there is also another maximum of 20 points that might be reached, but a minimum of 12 points have to be reached in this step. Otherwise, the proposal will be disqualified. And then in the end, there is the evaluation of the full proposal. This is given a maximum of up to 60 points in order to reach in the end 100 points for the maximum for the complete documentation. And after having finalized the evaluation process, there will be a selection of proposals for funding, which will be shared as well with the European Union. And here is set in order to guarantee the maximum coverage of countries in Latin America, that a maximum of 3 projects per lot per country are assigned in this first call for proposals. So if there are doubts or questions, as regards the platform, we have a manual that is indicating how the platform, the call for proposal platform, is working. And at the end of this document, of this manual, there is an email address that you can use, but it's purely for such kind of technical questions, probably with a password or not possible to enter the platform, questions like that. Other questions about the rules and all the documents for the call can be submitted up to 21 days before the official deadline. We have put a concrete form, it's an Excel form, on our website and also on the call for proposal site that you have to use in order to hand in your question. There is a dedicated email address given, and questions are only answered once they are handed in with this form to the email indicated on the website. We are collecting and answering regularly these questions. So the last update was uploaded last Tuesday, 3rd of May, on our website, and on the call for proposal platform, you find the respective questions and answers. And in order to ensure equal treatment of applicants, please understand that we can give no prior opinion on eligibility, on co-applicants, or a specific action. This is part of the evaluation procedure afterwards. And as such, no individual answers will be given. That's why we kindly ask you to hand in the questions with the given form to the indicated email address. So that's in brief. I hope everything is more or less clear. We look forward to receiving your ideas for innovative projects. And yeah, we are here for the time being for trying to respond to some of your questions. And if we may not answer all of them, or you have others that occur, then please get back to us via the form that we mentioned earlier. Thanks a lot so far.
Thank you, Frank. We have some question already in the question and answer box. Maybe I'll take some while you read also all the questions, so you can have a look at as well at the questions. I will read the first question regards, so it says, first call for proposal, will there be another one, and if yes, when? Of course, yes. So as said before, there will be an additional call for proposal, and this will be published at the beginning of the next year, so 2023. We have another question regarding the presentations, if they will be publicly available. Sure, so the presentation will be available and will be published on the program website, so you will be able to find it this afternoon already. And as you've seen, the session is recorded, so we'll publish the recording also on the YouTube channel of the Alinvest Verde program. I'll pass to you the floor, Frank. So yeah, we have a question regarding the consortium. So it said Mexico is or will be Coparmex the exclusive promoter partner in Mexico?
In the framework of our consortium, yes, you have seen that our partner is Coparmex Jalisco from the state of Jalisco, but we have the national Coparmex institution as associate partner to our consortium. So yes, Coparmex is in the framework of our consortium, the one and only promoter in Mexico.
Okay. Then we have another one on the eligibility of European clusters. So are European clusters eligible for the call?
As mentioned in the guidelines, each institution that is working, or non-profit institution which is dedicating their main focus on the support of small and medium-sized enterprises and private sector interests, are eligible.
Okay. Yes. Regarding eligibility as well, we have another question on if a public authority, such as a local entity or port authority, could be participate as partner as well.
It's also indicated in the call for proposal guidelines that such institution can figure as co-applicant, but not as lead applicant. Okay. In the frame of the call.
Yeah. We have another question on the bank guarantee. So is a bank guarantee mandatory for the lead partner in order to obtain the contribution? If yes, in favor of who it must be released?
So a bank contribution is requested if you're going to ask for advance payments. So in principle, there are two modalities. One is to pay against presentation of supporting documents always have to be presented, but against invoice, or to get advance payment. And in that case, it's needed to have a bank guarantee. Yes.
Okay, so we have actually a couple of questions, but I'll try also to summarize them. So we have the funds will be given only to Latin America entrepreneur or to a consortium between an entrepreneur in Latin America and a European company. And I think here it refers again not to the eligibility. So eligible organization are non-for-profit organization supporting the private sector. So private company cannot be beneficiary of the funds directly. No, Frank?
Correct. They are only the final beneficiaries of the projects, but only not-for-profit institutions can apply as a consortium. Yes,
okay. And then, of course, we have a question on to identify Latin American small and medium-sized enterprises. It is difficult in the time frame, but of course, as you've seen, there's a matchmaking platform where you can find a partner, which is an organization based in Latin America, and discuss, activities and how you could mobilize the Latin American SMEs over there. Then we have a question on can the 20% of partners co-financing be in staff hours?
So in the end, the procedure is as such that the budget that is handed in is reviewed. And this 100% of the project budget, if this is considered as eligible costs, then 80% of these costs will be funded, will be refunded by us, by the European Union. So the 20% have to be covered on your own, but could also be co-funded by other resources, by other projects, except ones funded by the European Union, as we are talking about European Union funds. But it's always good to have synergies with other activities in place and to seek for cross subsidizing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We also have some question on the chat, so maybe I'll read also some of them also to clarify. So, hello, if the lead applicant is a think tank from Latin America, the co-applicant could be an Italian small and medium-sized enterprises? No. So no, both applicants exactly should be non-for-profit organization. And then there's a question on balance in the consortium. So do the consortium have to be balanced in the number of partners from each region? I mean, is there any issue if there are 2 European partners and only 1 Latin American partner? And yeah,
no, here, does not matter. It's up to you to design your own consortium. If you decide in the end to have 4 or 5 partners, it's up to you. But the minimum requirement is to have 1 partner from Latin America and 1 from Europe.
Yes, and then also it's up to each consortium to prove now the added value of each partner in the consortium.
Yes.
Can UK entities participate in a consortium as co-applicant or a subcontractor?
No, this is indicated in the call for proposal guidelines as well, that UK entities are unfortunately not eligible.
Okay, we have another question related to the bank guarantee, because you mentioned only if you ask advance payment. It says how much is to be paid in advance in case.
This is depending. Normally, the procedure is as such that you have to hand in a budget for the overall project, and for the first 6 months you have to define what you are planning to do and what is the related budget. And normally it is asked, an advance is asked for these first 6 months of project implementation. Mm-hmm. So there is a clear link between what is in the budget that you're handing in for these first 6 months with the guarantee to be given later on.
Okay.
That the guarantee covers 100% of what you are requesting for the first 6 months.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, Frank, for clarifying. And we have also another question related to the consortium and participation of companies. So it says, so if an Italian company can't be co-applicant, can be inserted in a proposal as provider of technologies to realize the project?
So meaning in the case of a subcontractor?
Yeah.
I would say yes.
No. No, it can't. A subcontractor needs to be selected competitively based on the principle of best price. So the subcontractor always needs to be competitively selected and cannot be announced upfront. That's not the way it works.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, then we have more a comment, so saying that, I mean, the person do not understand well the added value of a European country chamber of commerce in the project, but I think it depends also on the type of activity that the chamber is implementing and has already, and the type of relation with Latin America. One, let's say, another question, I don't know if you have others, we have still a couple of minutes, so if you want, you can still type it in the question of answer. We have a question on, could you indicate example of eligible activities to be funded?
This is a little bit what I was mentioning in one of the first slides regarding the lots and these traceability solutions or sustainable agricultural practices, dialogue formats that could be designed for the first lot, and all these activities that one can imagine in the framework of the overall product cycle. So improvements in the design phase, in the production phase, reduction of energy waste, all these issues that I mentioned earlier. This is a little bit what potential activities are, but in the call for proposal guidelines, there are more. This was only a short summary. In the call for proposal guidelines, there are more indicative activities to be found.
Okay. Yeah, we have also another comment. So, for example, could information about Agri-Voltaicism be a funded activity?
I don't even know what it is. I'm sorry. But if I can only recommend, if you have a look at the guidelines, I think they are quite specific, the guidelines, and it should be easily possible to detect if an activity is eligible or not. Okay.
So you still have a couple of minutes if you want. Okay, so we have the clarification regarding agrivoltaicism. So it's combination of agriculture and photovoltaic production on the same land.
Yeah, as mentioned, if it's fitting with the eligibility criteria set in the call for proposal guidelines, and this seems as if it would be a project idea for lot 1. This might be eligible, but as said earlier, we cannot give prior opinion on concrete proposals or ideas, but it seems that this is something that could be relevant for lot 1, for the agricultural lot.
Okay. Yes, another thing we should know, also remind Frank, is as you said, is another thing I would say that we should remind is that there's a specific form on the website that you can use, and a specific email address to be used when you have questions regarding your proposal and your application. So if you have a specific question or questions in general, you should use that email address in that form, and then the answer will be publicly available for you and for everyone to know. I don't see any other question in the chat or in the question and answer box. So I think we can we can close the session. So maybe I would say, I mean, we reminded already regarding the question and answer opportunity. Another reminder from my side, again, as said by Frank before, do not wait until the very last moment to create your profile in the application platform or to upload all your documentation. And of course, the B2Match platform is there for you, so make use of it. There are already several organizations that are registered. You will have also the opportunity to publish your marketplace opportunities, and from the platform you can also set up meetings with potential partners and other potential applicants and to discuss your proposal.
Yes, and I see a last question coming in about if costs of a financial guarantee can be included in the project budget, and the answer is yes.
Okay, thanks, Frank, for your feedback. I would like to thank Sequa, our project lead, for the consortium and for for being in the consortium, for the continuous fruitful collaboration throughout this year, for supporting also us in the organization of this information session. I would like also to thank the European Union, in particular Ms. Ingrid Jenezova, for joining us today. And finally, I also would like to thank all of you and all potential applicants for attending the information session today. I wish you really a success with the innovative proposal that you will submit and in the green transition challenge that's ahead of us. So thank you very much again, and good morning and good rest of the day to everyone.
Thanks a lot to all of you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.